Oh man. Yeah, what do we even what do we call it? Cuz I feel like if we make it specifically bodyboarding, right, with a bodyboarding name, then it kind of narrows that down a lot, right? And then if we make it something that's completely removed from the sport, like it doesn't have a play on words, then somebody might not understand or be able to like connect what kind of podcast it is, you know?
I think it'd be definitely that way of just making it more open to other candidates of other people that can possibly watch our content if we have it not specifically around bodyboarding, because it's more of, that's not like our goal is just bodyboarding. It's like more of like the lifestyle of being a bodyboarder and like being around the water and having everything revolving around that. So I think that's why it shouldn't be a specific name towards bodyboarding, because it can go to a wider audience.
Yeah.
And possibly bridge into open more audiences and more things for us to do instead of just bodyboarding, because waves are shit here 90% of the time. So gotta find something else to do too. Like get skaters, other surfers, other vibes and other fun things to do that create sick content.
Exactly.
So, fuck. And I don't know. I don't know what the name would be, to be honest.
Kind of like, well, we're definitely not, let's say like cookie cutter, right? We're something that's a little original, or at least we try to be, because of course we learn from a lot of people, but at the same time want to forge our own path.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know, something like, what about like the Underground podcast or something like that?
Dude, I've thought about that one, but then it was pretty funny. I'm like, damn, with all the videos and all the movies I watch, true, and all the movies and all the stuff I've watched of surfing, I can't believe I didn't think about it. Obviously, like the first ever VHS film for bodyboarding, Underground tapes. Can't do that to them.
See, and that's something I haven't even seen. You gotta get me on that.
Yeah, dude, I need to even play them myself back again.
Or like, what is something that like every board sport has, you know, like a part of the, what's it called? Like whether it's a snowboard, a bodyboard, a skateboard, surfboard, like that shares the same term for whatever it is, and then like can be kind of used universal, like are
you saying like the shape of
like a shape.
Okay.
Like this is like the rail of a bodyboard. This is the tail of the bodyboard, you know, that's the nose.
I didn't know that.
So it's like, so it's like, what if we were just the On Rail podcast?
Dude.
Sounds pretty fried.
Rail. Well, I mean, if you know how to engage your rail, what the fuck you doing?
Right? And it's like with every single sport, like you got to be on rail, you know? And I feel like you can connect that to life in a way where if you want to get like super fried about it, you know, you can just connect it to all aspects. Like, I don't know, here, let me see, let me give it a go. Like you're on rail, so you're always constantly just driving, you know, to keep going forward. Whereas like, I feel like that name per se would show the progression that shows that like we're on rail and we're on air, bro.
Dude,
that's
on
it.
The rail, on the air, bro. Fuck, he said it.
We got it. All right, we're on the rail. Wait, no. Is it on the rail or on rail? I think the on rail podcast.
Simple as on rail and on the air.
All right,
going.
There you go.
So let's get this started. Simple as that.
Oh my goodness, where do we even start? I don't know. Basically, like, kind of something I'd been wanting to ask you before we even sat down and before we, you know, got mics and a camera together and all that. Because I mean, for all like 5 of you watching, we did not plan this at all. This is literally our first take.
Yeah, just set the camera up, put the mics in, let's just get it going.
Exactly. Something I wanted to ask you though is, you know, after going through the classic steps of like California Grom, you know, learning how to bodyboard, surf, and then, you get, you know, DSLR camera. Of course, you probably start with a GoPro and then DSLR camera, stuff like that. And I've only known you for probably like 8 years, and so you had a full life of like filming and everything before we even linked up, right?
Yeah.
And this sport is what brought us together, and that's why we're here today. So something I like wanted to ask you is, what is like your driving force that I guess makes you want to keep going? And from, let's say, the time you were 15 years old and you started putting out your own videos, or how old were you when you started?
It's kind of like, for surfing, I want to say it was probably, I was like 12, 13, like just like when you're first going down to the beach with your parents and stuff, and you see some kid with a little GoPro, and you hear about Clark Little around that time. I was like a big guy you're hearing all about, and you're like, I want to be like Clark Little, and like get the photos in the water.
Yeah, back in the day.
And I wonder how he's been lately. I haven't seen a bunch of him lately, but I
saw a video of him the other day, like running into shore break, and then it was like Andre Botha, and he had a GoPro. I think they called him Andre Little.
That's funny.
Or something like that.
But yeah, so I started out back then with a GoPro, had like the Hero, the original one, and had this sick little like lime green grip. I remember I still have a photo, actually. I can maybe throw it up on this and we'll see, but it's pretty funny. Like, yeah, I had the whole little like GoPro with the floaty, and had like just going down to Creek and T Street with it and learning how to do it, and like, oh, maybe I got this one little barrel, and yeah, 90% of the time it was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's before I feel like GoPros went to shit. You know, where like the first few editions were basically indestructible. I remember I had a GoPro, it was a Hero 2, and I had, you know, stupidly like just said, oh, I want to see if I can break this. Just for some reason. I threw it off my roof a handful of times and it still wouldn't break. And then finally, like the lens, like the actual fisheye of it broke, but the back, everything still like functioned. It was funny.
Those things were pretty indestructible. And, like,
exactly.
I'm kind of bummed that like GoPro got rid of that like fisheye port on the outside. Yeah. Because like I feel like there's so many ways they could have like gone so far with that, to where like I think every single person with a GoPro understands water spots and how annoying that is. That dome like fully helps that not happen. So I think that's pretty dumb on their part. They like only did that for like the first two, and they're like, flat, and then let's just get all these water spots and whatever gets in the front. But back to the camera thing and like getting into that. It was that, and then around like I was like 14, I saw a couple kids with the DSLRs and like the lenses on the beach, and I'm like, damn, like I've always been into like editing and doing all that stuff with videos, and just like cutting into music. It's been like very interesting to me even when I was a young kid, even before all that.
Who are some of those guys, like a few of those names that maybe like they don't even film anymore, or they don't even bodyboard anymore?
That's actually a good one. Owen Russell, bro, if you're watching this, what up? But big old OG filmer with like me, Jason, and Gavin, all the boys at like T Street. And then I saw him and I was like, dang, like I definitely I was always interested in doing that, but like I never had like a driving force to doing it. And I kind of just eventually did get a camera. I think it was about time of Christmas. I think I got it for Christmas in 2014. And then literally the day after, I went down to T Street and filmed like an entire day. And I was like, dang, like I have enough footage. I can just cut this up. I still have the video. It was like called like T-Crew Mini Edit. And it was the day after Christmas in 2014. And that was like literally right when it kicked off. I was like, oh, I love doing this. And I got laughed at a bit, not gonna lie. I got like a little teased a bit in the beginning, like, oh, like, why aren't you out in the water? And I'm like, well, like, I could be out in the water, but I want people to see, because like our boys were just ripping, dude. Like Gavin, Jason, Tyler Savage, Tanner Jensma, Noah Hammond, Riley Getz. It was just such a sick little like bodyboard crew down at T Street when we were younger, and seeing them like not have any coverage while like other people did, I was like, well, I kind of want to help with that. And then Owen started like phasing out with us a little bit. Like he was kind of getting into like the off-roading car kind of vibe, and then like I was just really wanting to push bodyboarding. Like I just loved it. I absolutely loved it from the time I first caught like a wave on a boogie and getting first barrels, first wedges and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to explain. I think everybody has like a different story on that point, but the filming is definitely a interesting one for me. It's more of that right when I was first going out with those guys, they kind of showed me what was cool too, like the cool videos to watch, and I'm just like all new to this, like, oh my god, this is like a whole new life to me. And it literally still to this day is like my life that like I want to create, is those first videos that you watch from like Zion Wetsuits and whoever else it might be. But that's definitely one that sticks with me and made me want to create like how they did and kind of set up a life as a bodyboarder how they did.
Yeah, kind of try and carry on the legacy per se.
Exactly. But like it just wasn't over here, it was so over there in Australia. And then like I'm over here looking at the waves, and everyone always talks about how big it was down here in California, and I'm out in the water when I'm a girl. I'm like, everyone's kind of just like super rude and kind, like it's just not, it wasn't fun. Like it was like you kind of had to like make it fun for yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a rough crew. And what's funny is like we growing up in the 2000s got the easiest out of anything. You know, I'm sure in the 80s and 90s I've heard horror stories, which, you know, we'll get into when we bring some other guys on the podcast here shortly.
Oh, definitely.
In these future episodes. But I mean, we've kind of had it easy, even though we thought it was rough.
Yeah. Well, it's always rough, like when you're in the moment.
Yeah,
like when you're in the moment of it, and like you're getting heckled by your local surfers that are like just not wanting you to get your waves. It's always tough, but like as you've gotten older, you kind of realize like there's kind of a reason for that. Like there's a balance to it, of course, but I think there is a true like balance to learning how to get past that feeling of like uneasiness, because you kind of understand like there's a reason why like there's a structure out in the lineup.
Exactly.
And there's proper things you got to go through and proper people you got to talk to and make aware that you're out there. Like it's all safety in my opinion. I think that's way more as I get older. It's just pure safety to have, like knowing everybody and having like, a mutual respect out in the water.
100%. Yeah, and I guess to kind of keep going on the filming side of that question. So I think like what the first film that I got, or little short video edit, whatever you want to call it. Vimeo days.
Vimeo days.
What was that? Shiznit? Was that the first one that I think I got a clip in when we started lining up? Maybe a couple clips at the local wedge, and maybe some creek clips in there.
Yeah, it was pretty much just like all creek and the local zone. But yeah, that was Shiznit 2. I had a Shiznit 1 I did right before that.
Okay, so that's what it was.
Yeah, that was 2018. That was like my...
Damn.
I want to say that was my first edit out of high school. That like, I was like, all right, like, I don't care what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep doing this because I love doing it.
You see on Instagram, like right now, everyone's reposting all their 2016 edits, and they're like, 2026 is the new 2020 or 2016.
Yeah,
like all the guys, like trying to think, like Ian Laskin and like all the GoPro guys who would be down at Lagunitas, like big backwash days. They're like reposting all their clips. And that stuff's crazy. Just seeing people get launched, like, oh man, I would never do that now. But
honestly, I was just thinking about those days not that long ago. I'm like, damn, like I haven't seen one of those days in a while, dude. I remember like the last time.
Because we're surfing elsewhere where it's better.
That's true. That's true. But I'll never forget like the last swell, and like around that time of 2018, you got such good ones at that spot. Like it was just the sandbar was just lining up right.
That was when it was actually
it was like makeable.
The time of year when it does its thing, yeah.
Dude, I haven't ever seen it like makeable like that. I was bummed. I paddled out like one of those sessions and I lost like the sickest pair of fins ever that day. I was super bummed.
I think that's about as likely to get that spot like that, rather, if I can pronounce this properly. Probably just like getting Keiki good, you know?
Yeah.
Because Keiki's just a straight closeout most of the time, but every once in a while might have a couple corners.
Was that the same year as that, 2018, or was that 2020 that you went over there?
Nah, I went to Hawaii in 2020.
2020, okay.
Greg and Tanner, yeah.
See, around that time, everything was so fast.
See, this is how this podcast is going to be, straight squirrel mode everywhere. But I'm going to try and bring it back. Okay, so you threw down Shiznit 2, and that was pretty cool. And so then, since then, it seemed like we started to get more of like a Dana Point crew together, right? Whereas, like, before you were hanging more at T Street, down in San Clemente, but it seemed the gravitation just moved towards Salt Creek, you know? And we're kind of having back and forths with all the surfers, a couple tussles here and there. And it eventually kind of flattened out to where we got on, I think, we have good rapport with most of the surfers. A lot of the guys, like at least the ones that matter, you know, we respect, and I feel like they have respect for us now. So we're all able to have fun and share the waves, you know?
Just having a mutual respect for each other
like,
out in the lineup.
You know, obviously nobody ever fights when the waves are good. People are only bitching at each other when it's bad.
I think we've seen some good days where there's some fighting out there. And it's fun, maybe. But it's all good.
But basically, so we just started filming a bunch and started laying down a couple like Instagram edits, YouTube edits. I was filming a lot with Jack West, and we were kind of doing our little thing there, doing like 3 5-minute YouTube videos a couple times a year. And then we kind of threw down on a pretty big movie. What was that first one there?
Modern Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good little gamble. Like, I had around that time, a year before, I had gotten my hands on some pretty decent equipment, and I was very like proud of taking that next step from going from like GoPro to like the Canon Rebel like DSLR cameras. Then I'm like, oh, I'm like on the mirrorless now. I got like the real deal stuff. I gotta like make a real deal project.
Yeah.
Because like if I'm just shooting around with this like nice equipment, I'm not like taking the most advantage of the situation as I can. I'm kind of blowing it. So that's why I thought, like, I noticed you and Evan and Jack like went to Mexico and stuff, and then you guys were planning that trip again. I'm like, dude, if I'm not on this trip, like, I'm gonna forever regret not being on this trip. So I did everything I could, and I was working such a bad job at that time too, dude. Oh my god.
Was that Station Craft or was
no, I was at my OG golf course, Bella
Oh,
Colina.
dude, just bumming it over there.
Oh god. Well, that was just like the time of when like I like just moved out with Avery, and we had like I had a weird situation with jobs, and then I had gotten that job within like 2 weeks after, and I had to like make rent in that time. So that was like a big turnaround for me. Like, oh, I can like do this even if like I'm in a bad situation, lose that job. Like, boom, I know I can get another one pretty quick and make ends meet and everything.
Exactly.
But yeah, back to Mexico, like we were talking about it, and like seems like everybody's just like kind of on it. I'm like, dude, I have to make this happen. So I literally pulled all my change I could, was making bills, everything, and got it to happen. And wow, that was a huge experience for me because that was my first time out of the country.
Oh yeah, how about your first time out of the plane when we went to Punta Colorado and you brought all your camera gear? So basically, we pull up, and was that the next morning?
Yeah,
or
it was the next day. It wasn't the
Okay.
first day because we just were like, we got out of the plane like right after, and we're looking at Colorado.
Oh, we served Zicatella that night. Anyways,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So the next day, it's our first real morning in Port Escondido, and so mob squad all over to Colorado, and it's pretty sick. And Ryan, why don't you let them know how dehydrated you were?
Yeah, I feel like I can tell this story pretty well because I was filming a lot of that day. It was the first day. Like, you gotta get as much footage as you can to like, I mean, at least I've learned that. That was my first like international trip, but I'm happy I did that. Like, you just get as much footage as you can at the beginning of the trip, and then you can kind of get fun and creative later on.
Yeah.
But out there, I just filmed for like 4 or 5 hours in the morning, but we were down there easily about like 8 in the morning because no rush, but like still get there somewhat early. Probably like 8 till like maybe even 6 hours, honestly. And like in and out of like, I remember that day I wanted to like get a wave because I knew if I didn't surf now, it was probably gonna get better. So I got a wave and ate shit a couple times and then paddled in, and like everyone's like, oh, we gotta go. Like, we're getting in the
the taxi, dude, because
Wait, was it a taxi or was it Rich's truck?
I don't even remember, but they did not want to wait.
Yeah,
and
so you guys
saying,
were like
"Let's
racing up, and I had all my bags to pack. I'm soaking wet, and I'm like packing all this stuff. We have this whole cliff to walk up, and oh my god, I'll never forget like walking up, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, I have a weird pit in my stomach, and then I'm like getting the double wooey visions, and it started getting 3 and 4. I'm like, oh no, and then literally just like got to my knees and just started projectile vomiting everywhere.
Board bag, tripod bag, camera bag,
Yeah, I had
just
like
on
80
top.
pounds of shit on my back.
Avery's like pouring water on your head.
Yeah, like everyone's like, bro, it's about to go. I full on thought I was about to pass out. I was about to black out.
Oh
like, I was
my.
so tripped out, and everyone's just like, I see you looking up, and you're just like
we were all
laughing your
laughing
ass
so
off
hard.
at me. I'm like, dude, this is not
And
cool, bro.
She's
I'm
yelling,
feeling like
stop
shit.
laughing.
But then all that stuff was so funny
Oh.
afterwards. Like, dude, if you weren't laughing, it would have been like gnarly. Like, that's what kept it like better. Like, it's just like kind of having
No,
like a laugh about it.
we helped you up, and we carried all your shit up the hill.
No,
for you
absolutely,
after
of
that.
course. No, yeah, like fuck, carrying all that stuff. But that was a bad decision on my part. Like, I kind of have learned now, like, commit to one thing. Like, don't like, oh, I can do this and do that and do that. You're just gonna like fluster yourself. And
Yeah.
that's what happens.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was just unforgettable for sure. You know, that's a good word for it.
Yeah, best way to put
Unforgettable.
it.
And that ended up being one of the parts in Modern Nostalgia.
Yeah, there was
you know? And then what?
easily, I think 15 minutes of that video was all Mexico.
Yeah. And just the way it was edited it was sick.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
It's funny, like I love Modern Nostalgia. I can always look back on it being like the editor and like, oh, I wish I did that and did that. But it's like, and then I also get further as I've made a couple more. I'm like, nah, like that's like the part of the process. Like, you look at it later on, you're like, ha, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, kind of like how we're probably going to look back at this first podcast
Oh, God.
probably even a couple months from now and just laugh our asses off at how horrible the production is, you know?
100%.
But hopefully we can have something that's at least like interesting for people to listen to.
Of course.
You know?
And like I hope that we keep this going, but who knows? This could be the one or done. Or we can do like 15, 20, 30 of them and have a consistent rhythm, but it just depends.
I just spent $300 on some mics, so I'm waiting for those to come in. And we got to get it going.
Yeah. Hey, you see that right there? That's a little hefty penny too.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, I thought since you were asking questions on me, I'd get into you real quick and I would see like what was...
Yeah, I gotta send this text real quick. One second.
But yeah, so we're talking on bodyboarding and you obviously have been, I would say, getting pretty far as a bodyboarder as of the past couple of years. Like you've really progressed in your process of riding and going your way as just being a free surfer at the moment, and you're riding for hub boards. And I just kind of wanted to see where that started for you. Like obviously you like grew up around here as well, but where did the spark to like, oh, I actually like want to be a good bodyboarder, or like I want to put time into this, like make it like my thing I do?
It's so funny because I could make this a 2-hour explanation. You know? I guess I can try and like piece it together at from when I actually got a real bodyboard, you know?
Yeah.
That's, I think, when it started. And I was hanging out with like Johnny Mitchell and Adam Mitchell.
Oh, God, those are some
all those
names.
guys, yeah, back in the day. And I think their mom convinced my mom to buy me, you know, like a $300 bodyboard. I think my first board was an NMD Winchester.
Same shit. That's funny. Same exact board.
Yeah, it was like black and green. I eventually left it
literally black and green on this first board.
I think,
too.
well, mine got stolen.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I left it on the beach at Creek and someone stole it. So then I think I got the same one and it was blue and gray top, blue bottom, I think was the other colorway. I can't remember. And I just remember when I got the board, I went and I needed wax and my mom brought me to the gas station at Monarch Beach and I got to borrow wax there. And I just remember sitting like in the back seat of the car, just waxing the whole board on the way to the beach, just covered the whole board. I was so stoked.
Oh, that's so
And then it's funny because I actually remember the exact thought of that. Oh, I can't move. This is weird, you know?
Yeah.
And it probably took me a couple years to figure out that I wasn't supposed to put all that wax on there.
Yeah. It took me a couple years to figure that out.
Yeah, so I was probably 12 or 13 years old at that point. And then, you know, because I grew up here in Laguna Beach and then moved down to Dana Point in high school. And that's when I feel like I started really bodyboarding and going to Salt Creek a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know anyone in the community. I just wanted to go boogie.
Yeah.
So I would, you know, before I was even 16, before I had a car, I'd either skate down because I lived luckily up the street and I could just skateboard down to the beach in the morning with my suit already on. Or, you know, I'd have my dad try and take me before school, whatever I could get. And I feel over time, I started to, you know, just see familiar faces and whatnot. And it wasn't necessarily easy to kind of get immersed into, like, I would say, like, your crew. You know what I mean? Because you guys were already on it. Like, the main people that I noticed was, like, Ian, Evan, you. Actually Liam Gillen back in the day was like big bodyboarder.
Yeah.
And so those are the kids that like the only like faces I really knew. And then I knew of Gavin, you know?
Yeah.
And like Tyler Savage and those guys, but those guys like scared me. I was like, oh, they're gnarly. You know, I don't want to get in their way or I don't know. Gavin, of course, was like a temperamental kid. So
yeah, it's funny. Like
I think I got yelled at a few times at West Street by him because I was being a kook, blocking the cider, and he's like actually trying to hit a flip, and I'm just being a kook.
Nah.
But yeah, I started to get immersed into that group, and then I think once we got into a couple tussles, you know, with some local surfers and we held our ground for each other, that's when the real friendships started to forge.
Yeah, that was like, dang, like we're actually like a crew down here.
Exactly.
Like we got each other's backs. Like this is what's up.
Well, because we knew we just weren't going to take shit anymore.
Yeah.
It was at the point where I feel like we had at least put in a couple years to be able to sit out there and not cop shit, you know, from people that really had no place to like give us shit. you know,
they were just older and above us in some way.
Exactly, and just because you're riding bodyboards, they didn't like us.
Yeah, and that's how it is over here. It's like you just don't really have that like comfortability when you're on a bodyboard. Like at least when we were younger, like paddling out on a bodyboard, it was just very. You just felt kind of awkward at certain spots. Like you didn't feel as home as like we do now per se, like since it's opened up. But yeah, go back to what you're saying. Sorry, I didn't want to like, that felt like that was a good point I need to make. It just felt so awkward back then.
Yeah, it was. And you felt like a total outcast, and that, you know, you're like when a cop rolls up somewhere, you know, and like people are all like, oh, everyone acts straight, you know? Like that's how you feel as a bodyboarder paddling out to a wave, and there's a bunch of surfers holding it down,
like,
just turning
Colton's
around,
like I gotta...
staring at you. Yeah, and we love you, Colton.
No, I love you, Colton.
But I told him the other day, I told him a story about how when I was in like literally the age I'm talking about, we'd see Colton coming down the hill and be like, no, Santa Claus is coming, because he had like the big afro, and it was so
that's
funny,
dude.
And we were all like, because obviously he ripped, you know, but he would just get all the good waves. Yeah. And so just like, oh man, like Colton's here. And, but over time, you know, now we're friends. But
well, it's just like, yeah, like that. It's like when you're around here, there's so many different groups of different people. So it's like, you're kind of like, there's all these little niches of groups. So it's like, yeah, you kind of see each other here and there, but you never get like close to them. You know what I mean? So then it's like, now that we actually have like kind of opened up the jar to like kind of, we're all like homie. So like that's what's like really cool.
Yeah.
I guess it just comes with age too.
That just comes down to time put in as well, where it's, you know, for the last 6 to 8 years, we've been consistently going to that spot and seeing those same people pretty much multiple times a week, whether the waves are good or bad, or whether we're not even surfing and we're just hanging out in the lot, or we're going for a walk on the beach. That is, you know, Salt Creek specifically. For anyone watching that doesn't know what we're talking about, that's our home. Yeah. And we take a lot of pride in that. And I feel like this podcast specifically will be a really good platform to be able to bring on the people that we think matter, you know, in our community. A lot of the OGs, a lot of the up and comers, basically anyone who is interesting and relevant and can hold a conversation is welcome here.
Absolutely. And I think like that's just part of it too, that there's so many stories that we hear with all the locals there. Like let's just say like Crowbar, Nick Bertone, and like Philip Rahm the other day, like they were just telling all these like quick little stories. I'm like, dang, like I didn't even really know about that, but like people should know about that, because like if you're a local around here, you should know your local history. Like I'm a big nerd on history of like surfing and bodyboarding and all that stuff, and I think that is so unappreciated by the most like people in surfing.
100%.
And hearing stories like that from those people that like actually were in it and say like the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, like that's just like gold, dude.
Yeah, guys like
they've pioneered it and lined out what we are trying to do.
Yeah, guys like freaking Scotty Carter, Henry Long, you know, Rob Brack, all the OGs, and like, you know, we'll get to it. We're gonna hopefully have, if this works out, hundreds of people over time, you know? And basically it's going to come with convenience, you know, and then we'll start reaching out from there on who we can get together with, and we'll have to figure out the video versus audio and all that stuff. But I really think that this is going to get some traction here.
I think so too.
It could be pretty cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's just fun to like, I don't know, just have the time to like get together with you and talk on stories like this. It's, I think, a way for us to kind of remember and talk about these sessions and like learn more about like who we are as well. Like I think it's just something that'll help bodyboarding grow. The more it's out there and there's more outlets on it, and especially if there's other people watching it other than bodyboarders, like surfers are interested as well, it just makes everything all circle out and make our community bigger.
Yeah,
and that's
100%.
The biggest goal is just keeping it more tight knit, but like also expanding it as well. Like,
and I mean, just make it entertaining too.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, like I want to know all the latest drama, all the oldest drama, like who stole whose girl back in the day, and then
who pulled the Wardo.
Exactly, right? Oh my God, I was watching clips of Wardo yesterday. He was ripping.
Oh God.
But it was like Seal Beach, and he just got this sick stand-up barrel, and it's funny because he's like big now, you know, but he just fucking lays into it. He's so good.
Yeah, I've always looked at like people like say like, I wouldn't say I looked up to Wardo at all. It's not like the best person to look up to. No disrespect.
Some attributes we did not look up to.
Yeah, of course, but I would
surfing, yes.
Yeah, like you can look at his surfing and be like, dang, and like just the commitment that he had to like, and it's like I look at his surfing like Dane Reynolds. It's just kind of like you're throwing so much power into your maneuvers, and I love seeing surfing like that. Like I'm gonna be honest, like I'm a bodyboarder and I love power surfing.
Yeah.
Like seeing like Harry Bryant or Dane Reynolds, like just the way they like put all their weight and all their like into that like rail is like wow. That's opened my eyes to surfing a bunch.
Dude, it was so sick. Kind of what I was telling you about like last night when I texted you.
Yeah.
So yesterday when I was surfing at the local wedge, it was me and Armand out there, and then the few surfers. I think it was Colton Sullivan. I think this guy Tanner. I always butcher everyone's name, whatever. But anyways, homies. And they were all like, you know, ripping. A lot of them doing like big straight airs, alley-oops, stuff like that. But there was this older cat that was just like, I know he's an OG and I can't remember his name. So maybe we'll get an input here if I can ask and figure out his name.
Yeah.
But he's a super nice guy. And
yeah,
like I've always seen him
every day. Yeah.
But anyways, that guy just threw like the biggest backside hack towards just like straight buckets, right? And I was all stoked on it, told him, yeah, that's cool, dude. And then Armand gets a wave. And so this guy's kind of paddling over the shoulder, and Armand did like a pretty nice reverse, like kind of not like off the lip, but kind of off the shoulder to where it really threw some water.
Yeah.
And I like watched him kind of go, oh, that was sick.
Yeah, like he was stoked on himself.
We were all like, no, like the surfer.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. Oh, that's sick.
And it was just funny. We were all fully broing down out there and having such a good time, like checking out each other's boards. And I feel like that's what it's all about, you know.
100%.
Just it's taken a long time to feel that comfort level out there, and I guess sometimes, you know, it's not always the same. There's just a really good group of guys the other day, but in general, I think it's super cool that, you know, we're in a progressive manner, you know, which like I hate that the way that word is like used nowadays, like progressive and shit. But anyways, we'll keep that out of it.
Yeah.
It is in a way going up, you know.
Absolutely.
So that's something that we're gonna try and do here.
Yeah, I think it's more of like, I think a lot of people just need to hear like the background and the history of the sport. Like I can talk hours and hours of like which film to watch, of like which rider to look into, and like which one to look at for reverses, inverts, flips, whatever it is. But I think a lot of like this younger generation coming up should just simply hear and like know this history. Like it's so funny because back when we were growing up too, you brought up Vimeo a little bit ago, and like recently I've tried to look back at some of those videos I grew up watching when I was a Grom, and I'm like, oh, they're gone. I'm like, what? Like, why would you ever delete like, say like Mitch Rawlings' Killer Days best of video? Like that video is gone. That was like so iconic. Like I know even Gavin and like all of us when we were growing up, that was like the video to watch. Like there's a certain reverse that he does that he just, I don't even know like how to explain it, but if you know, you know what reverse I'm talking about. But it was just like one of the best clips ever. And I feel like there's so many sessions and films that like people just need to know about and like learn and experience, like, oh, like that's what they thought of in this situation. And like, that's how creative they got with the opportunity they had. And I feel like with our journey, we've been like how we just premiered Ascend back in December, and then also had the backup of Smoky Rooster. So 2 back-to-backs, which I'm very proud of being able to do that and time that out in time. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, like that's kind of like the most I even really thought of in that moment of like, wow, like I really just did 3 films, and I'm about to turn 27 coming up. I'm getting a little older, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I'm like, why don't I just give it a go? That's why I'm kind of happy we're doing this, because it's just another outlet of like giving something a try, even if it sucks, even if I fail. Like screw it, at least I gave it a go. At least I tried it. I don't want to look back and be like, oh, I could have done that. But
that's kind of the direction. Exactly what I'm thinking is, who knows what's gonna come of this. But either way, by us, you know, just setting up the camera, getting the mics, producing this, we're gonna learn.
Absolutely.
100%. And then if we give like 100% of everything we do, we're only going to move forward. You know, it's just physics at that point.
Absolutely.
You know?
It's just the evolution of life,
an object in motion stays in motion.
That's true.
So, That's what we'll try and keep going with. And I think that it's something else important to touch on is like, we, of course, take inspiration from a lot of people. And so I think one of the first guys, like back in the day, that I started listening to a bodyboard specific podcast, which, you know, we're not going to be strict bodyboard, but we will have a lot of bodyboarders on here, was Joshua Kirkman. So that guy,
Boogie.
The Le Boogie podcast. I actually had forgotten the name of it.
There you go.
So, and he had a cool intro, Le Boogie.
Yeah.
But him,
you know where that, I don't know the full story, but that name came from, that was, I don't know exactly what it's called. That was like the production that James Cates did, like
Le Boogie. Okay.
And like
sick.
where like Passing Through, like that, like most OG film ever.
Dude, Passing Through. Yeah, study up Groms if you haven't seen Passing Through. And also, if you don't own a DVD player, you need to go buy one. Go to your local thrift store. They will have one. It will be about $15-20. And then you can get in contact with us, and we will figure out a way to get you these tapes.
Yeah, nowadays you can just plug it into your laptop now, and it's simple. Like and I think that's just such a cool way of doing it, because like you're like entering into like the realm of the film. Like it's kind of like, I don't know, it sounds super cliche, but like if you really think about it, like you're like back in those times making DVDs, you're literally like making a product. And nowadays everything's just thrown up on YouTube, and it's all
digitized.
Yeah, and then like you have to watch the ads, and then like, oh, the quality's gonna render bad when you're not in a good area. Like, no, you have the DVD, that thing's full quality at all times. You can watch it anytime, but like, well, not anytime, obviously.
Nah, dude, all these kids, they all got their e-bikes now. They can get around to each other's houses without even trying, whipping 40 miles an hour down the street, no helmet. Freaking strap a VCR to your back, or a what's it called?
Like a DVD player.
Yeah, just strap a DVD player to your back and get on over to your homie's house, get the crew together, and sit down and study up. You know,
absolutely.
I think that is very important for these younger Groms.
100%.
But I guess another person that I had more recently been inspired by was Luke O'Connor. Because I really like the format and the way that he does his podcast.
Absolutely.
It's
I like the people he brought on and just how he kind of went about it.
Yeah, he has the right talent for the show. You know, he has a really good personality. He can articulate everything the way that it needs to be portrayed, you know, to the people, and he can connect it to make it more of a conversation. And that's something that I think is a really cool thing.
Absolutely.
You know, and I
like having intelligence but with your personality.
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah, I can't find the word I'm looking. A good attribute, you know, like to really throw is that he can connect everything.
Yeah.
And
he was really good at wrapping the stories together. I like
exactly. And then of course, like the accent, like being Aussie and everything, and all their verbiage and everything is just too good. Sometimes I wish that we had those accents, so then you could get away with saying certain shit that you cannot get away with saying as being an American.
Oh, of course, yeah. I think it's funny, like the words like rubbish and like just like random stuff like that gets thrown around, or like maggard or whatever.
Yeah,
like there's just fun words that they have over there. We don't really, I mean, I guess we do, but it's like, what's the point? Like,
they're
not
all
even
too
close.
generic. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like that's like culture over there. Like that's what like. At least growing up over here, I like as I've gotten older, I wish there was like a little bit more culture over here. We've kind of just like I'm being honest, California in general is just literally like pulling all these different little culture pieces from everywhere around the world, and like I'm gonna make my own little thing.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like, I don't know, it's just kind of how everyone does it with everything, recreate to innovate. You know, it's just how life is.
Yeah, I feel like if I had one of those clickers for every time someone said cunt when we were in Java, that was insane. It would have, you know how it only goes to 999? Like, I would have flushed it like 10 times.
Yeah, dude, that was...
Everyone used up their cards, that's for sure.
Dude, yeah, that was well, we also had, like, I guess, like, they were pretty cool with us over there, and I was just pretty happy with, like, that experience over there and meeting all those guys over there and, like, getting closer with, like, Curtis Pryor and then, like, meeting, like, Shaden Schrader and... like Johnny Cruikshank and Brandon and all those guys.
Legends.
Like, oh, dude, the stories that we'd have were so legendary.
Yeah.
Like we could have talked till like 4 a.m. We're like, oh, the waves.
We did.
Yeah, we did a couple mornings. Too many bintangs.
Too many bintangs for sure. Yeah, that would be an amazing guy to talk to. We'll have to figure out how to do the Zoom and everything. We need to get Johnny on here. Like, you know, the kid, his 2 sons. It's Hayden, right?
Hayden, Brandon, and then.
Hayden and Brandon. And then Charlie was the other guy that was there.
Yeah.
He was super cool. But yeah, that was funny to see, like, the whole full circle of, you know, we really look up to the Australian kind of like core bodyboard industry, where the way they hold it.
Yeah, bodyboarding isn't really a thing without Australia being in the picture.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I feel like pretty much everything we learn or go by is from down under. You
Oh,
know?
dude, like, I mean, I'm wearing a drag hoodie right now. Like, like, we all got into bodyboarding, and at least for me, I saw bodyboarding the way I see it now, and it all started from Australia. Like, seeing, like, Thomas Robinson, James Cates, Sam Bennett, like, I can go down such a huge list of names of that. There's just way too many, like, legends that came out from, like, the time of me being a Grom, like, 2013 to, like, 2016. Like, probably way before that, though, but at least that's when I was, like, a Grom, getting all into, like, learning about the sport. There's just so much from them that, like, paves the way to us.
Yeah.
And it's funny, too, because they had, like, a little bit of funding that went around the sport a little bit, and not crazy anything, but, like, compared to, like, how it's pictured now, like, the World Tour, I don't even watch. I haven't watched the World Tour in, like, 2 years, probably. Like, I want to say it was probably the last time I watched, like, an actual thing was when Tanner was competing, because I was actually stoked to see how he was going to do.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I'm not paying attention at all.
It's tough to watch for sure. Their production isn't very good with the live streams and everything, but also it's like, what is their funding? We don't know. That's all the stuff. Yeah. That's all the stuff we can get into on this, you know. So basically, I think we're kind of getting towards the end here. I think we've had a good piece here, and we actually have to go film another piece here with one of our younger local rippers. Is there anything to finish off that you want to add in? Like any, I guess, shout outs, inspos, or just thank yous maybe?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out real quick to Dave Goodrich with Alt Surf. Like, he's definitely helped me a lot in these past few years of actually, like, kind of committing to, like, I've been very weird with, like, certain commitments. That's why, like, I don't put out a lot of content with bodyboarding, and he has kind of, I would say, given me, like, a good, like, support, and like dude, like, you're so talented with what you do. He always tells me, like, I'm very talented with my editing and filming, and I'll be honest, like, that does help a lot with, like, having that support behind him, and him throwing me some gear here and there and giving me reasons to create content. Like, it kind of taught me a lot with, like, supporting a brand as well. Like, I didn't really understand what an actual sponsorship was. And I think that's what a lot of Groms need to understand too, is that, like, a sponsorship is, like, you're actually, like, a part of the brand. Like, you're actually, like, a part of this thing you're building with them. And, like, you have to put in your effort as well, or, like, you don't receive it back. Like, if you just keep taking, then they're not going to keep giving. And that's with bodyboarding especially. There's a lot that needs to be given out, but also, like, I don't want to get into that too much. We can go into another one.
Like, we don't expect anything out of this. We just want to talk shit. And if somebody wants to listen to it, cool. If they don't, they can turn it off.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so I'll give that shout out to Dave. He's definitely, like, helped me a lot. He made Modern Nostalgia a reality. When I had my first film put together, I really didn't know exactly what I was opening up. And once I learned it and went into Ascend, kind of doing it a lot on my own, it really made me appreciate the support that I actually, like, had, not that I didn't take for granted, I just didn't see the full picture of it and really understand, like, the dynamic of, like, being a part of a brand and, like, helping out and doing all that. I didn't really understand it at the age when I, like, first got a part of it. Like, when I was talking with Evan about it and stuff, I was like, oh, I'm just going to make videos and have fun. Like, yeah, you can do that, but you got to, like, be structured, and, like, you got to be constructive and, like, actually, like, strategic and plan ahead and not just wing it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm not the person that I want to wing it, but there's a balance to it, you know? Like, don't hold on to things forever for so long. Like, it took a while for Modern Nostalgia to get out. I don't want to be like that again. I want, like, people to see my work. I don't want it to be like, oh, you have to do this and that. Like, I want it to be simple and easy for people to watch content. Simple as that. Like, we're going to put this up at some point, and it's going to be easy to watch.
It'll just get better as we go.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and then shout out to the local homies. I mean, like, Ian McMillan, like, you're, like, one of my best friends, dude. And, like, we've always had good surfs, and I'm just super stoked to have, like, you and Gavin a part of our crew, and just any of the locals that I always see at Creek, like Phil and Nick and Rob and Carlos, just good people, good times, and let's just keep doing this.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll add it in there because I think it's a very honorable mention. Because I feel like, you know, even though there's a healthy competition between us all, I want to give a shout out to Breaking Even.
Absolutely.
Craig, Tanner, Tristan, Alex, because they definitely were, like, the first group in our area, you know, to fully start making YouTube videos, start doing their thing.
Absolutely.
And it's cool because, you know, we're able to have a healthy competition per se, where sometimes there might be a little bit of banter back and forth, or sometimes a little angst in the water, you know. But that's all good fun.
Yeah,
because without that, then what are you driving for? You know, if we aren't trying to like
one up each other and like have a healthy relationship about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even that. Like I'll just know I have like a huge respect for you bros. Like I've always loved surfing alongside you guys out in the water, and especially filming with you guys is really fun. And I want to just say, like, the healthy competition side of it is really all about just like, it's not even like, I don't know how to explain it. Like when we were younger, like we obviously like weren't like, we had our own different groups and stuff, so we kind of had to do our own different things and go to our own like waves and create our own content. But it's all mutual respect.
Dude, that's gonna
hopefully.
fuck our audio.
Oh yeah.
There's no way. All right,
We're good. We're probably good. But yeah, some guy like scraping up on his like patio. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Like with Alex, Craig, Tristan, and Tanner, like big respect for all those guys. They definitely like were on it in the beginning with like, all right, we have this idea and we're gonna commit to it. Like what, I think it was 2018, 2019 or something like that. I remember their first video. It was with a trip that we went up north a little bit, like a few hours north from here, and we got like this one wave that we all kind of like have always wanted to get, but we didn't really know it was gonna be that good. And I'll say Tanner just absolutely shredded, and Gavin got a couple clips, Craig got a few clips, and we met a few people like Matt Meyer and Eric. And
yeah, I was there that day, right?
no, this was like, it was just the turn of 2018.
Oh, okay.
So this is a while.
I'm thinking of a different day with that exact same scenario.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Tanner is always ripping.
Yeah, literally, yeah. He had like an air rev out the bowl. It was pretty mental. And Craig had a huge invert. I went off some wash, and then Gavin had a pretty sick like double reverse wave, and then yeah, back to like what I was saying. Like I remember being a part with like those sessions and stuff, and it's pretty cool like looking out throughout the years and seeing like all the projects that we've all like helped out each other with and been a part of, and it's just really cool to see like us growing as bodyboarders all together. Like I truly want to see us like working more together and like just having more sessions together. Like it's more of like,
well, we should be able to talk shit to each other, have a healthy respect,
100%.
battle for waves, and then be able to go have beers after.
Yeah,
that's like what it should be in a gist, you know. And like it doesn't need to be any deeper than that.
No, that's it's easily as simplest as you put it. Like I think that like how we've gone on trips together too, you know, like we've definitely like built like a good friendship with each other. But I feel like there's so much more potential to like grow bodyboarding in that way. To like if we combine our work in some way, not like we have like our all one thing. We're all like we have
but that we're
groups.
all supporting, like reposting each other,
Absolutely.
like cheering each other on, like, hey, I just watched your video, is sick, or you know, like I think that stuff is super important because we have such a small community, such a small footprint. The only way that we're gonna like widen that footprint is if we band together.
Absolutely. And if we keep like I see all these brands that are coming up around here, like no disrespect, but it's like the more of these like clothing brands and all these other brands that are in this, I looked up the bodyboarding market. The entire market of bodyboarding is only like 350 mil.
Yeah.
So compared to surfing, which is about 4.6 to $5 billion industry. So if you look at that, like we're such a small bubble compared to like the big oyster. And if we want to see growth in the sport and we want to see Groms getting into it, we all have to have like that healthy relationship together and like portray it as well. Like
so that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna do that.
It's huge for our sport if we have like that connectivity with everybody. Like yeah, we can have our own outlets of our own creativity, but like all together in the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're just gonna start interviewing everyone: bodyboarders, surfers, photographers,
absolutely
everyone. And
yeah, we have some fun ones we're thinking of. I'm pretty stoked on our little list that we've got.
Well, that's gonna wrap it up. We gotta go do this interview. We're like literally right on the dot. We gotta drive up to Alt Surf right now and talk to our boy Tomas. So I think that might be episode 2 because this will be our little pilot episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, just want to say thank you guys for, if you're still listening. I'm sure that was probably pretty rough to listen to and follow along with all our back and forths. But over time, we'll get it structured better. We will. We have the goal to progress.
And many stories to open up to and talk about and just have a good time doing it.
And in case you didn't know, I'm Scotty PLOWDEN.
I'm Ryan Moore.
And what's our podcast name again? On Rail, where this is the On Rail podcast.
And now we're going to be off the air.
Oh yeah, on the rail. Wait, on rail.
And on the air.
And on the air. Now we're On the rail.
Yeah, off the rail and off the air. All right, let's do it.